What's hanging? It's August 23rd, much later in the day though. Today was a strange day. I woke up with my neighbors having a domestic dispute. Been through that shit before. Guy was 27, cops came. I made sure she was safe, but whatever. Then some places I went to were closed for some reason, and just one of those weird, wacky, out of alignment days. Call it astrological, whatever, it's that stuff. But we're gonna look at a few charts and graphs here in a minute when I get home, and just show how screwed we are, and that I don't think we're gonna make it. By the way, this is Eureka's Pizza. It's okay. We're not gonna make it much past 2030 at this rate. It's accelerating too fast, and there's the solar cycle, and there's a whole bunch of things, and there's other all kinds of things are failing out of us. Stratification, Arctic, the sun, ocean acidification, the AMO. There's so many things, and everyone is just living in a dream. Okay, it's kind of dark. Let me get home and get that loaded up. Another day in the jungle.
Clusterfuck. That's the word I was looking for. It was just on the tip of my tongue. We're going to do some 1858 Canadian Club. I've already poured myself a glass and downloaded the pictures so we can go through them together. Cheers. You make it worth it. 90% of the reason I'm still here is because of you. The other 10% is so that I can see the collective gasp and sigh from billions of people as we experience mega deaths in the 2030s, thereby which hundreds of thousands of people are dying in a number of days. So I already downloaded these pictures, and what I think is what, on top of everything Paul Beckwith said, if you watch that video, watching Paul Beckwith talk about the end of the world, I know everyone here has. So on top of everything he said in that video, you have Kamala in Singapore right now trying to rally allies, and they're like a little bit like, well, you fucked up in Afghanistan, so what can you do now? And so, but they know we're the big boys in town. So what I'm saying is coastal cities are going to get flooded, and with even a few centimeters and inches over the next 10, 20 years. And that's going to send massive crop failure, and then there's going to be wars and geopolitical. I'm just sticking around to see, how the domino pieces fall. Okay, let's look at these pictures. Resize. This is the U.S. purchasing power in the 20th century. You can see the Spanish-American War, how it keeps dropping, and of course we've had inflation. So that's why everything is crazy expensive unnecessarily. And there's a picture of me. I used to have a chocolate bunny. I'm not embarrassed at all. I was pimping. But I want to go all the way to the end here. Well, first, look at this photo of people in 1920 riding a trolley, putting bags over their faces. And look, just get this out the way in case you want to get some ideas on what to do in the next few years. Here's it's a Japanese concept for finding purpose. Ikigai. So it's a mixture of all these things, and if you do only one or two of them, those are the implications. Like if you do just what the world needs, what you love doing, and what I'm good at, aka what's happening in the world, I'd be broke. Yes, that's true. But then if I do what pays, what the world needs, and I'm not good at it, well, I'll probably quit because I'm incompetent. If I'm good at something It pays well. And it's what I love doing, but it's not what the world needs. I have no impact. See what I'm getting at? Or you're miserable if you just have what pays, what the world needs, and what you're good at. There's not much the world needs right now than just stopping all production, but you probably don't love doing that. So that's a real tricky one. That's a real conundrum, figuring where you fit in the scheme of things. Okay, so here's a picture of Biden telling military troops, this is in June, that global warming is the greatest threat to America. And then he went ahead with several pipeline projects. So the point is not to protest, because protest only validates the oppressor. You need to develop and build a system that exists outside the framework of tyranny. And that tyranny could be merit as well. I had another picture here, but I guess it didn't load. I'm switching here between a lot of pictures, but this one does a pretty good job. You can see the temperature for all the different years. And the chart here at the bottom right, you can see each month, and you can see it's clearly getting hotter. This is pretty self-evident. I guess the picture didn't load, but here's a fun one. This is the 4 ice age cycles shown. JohnEnglander.net. I'm not sure where he got this information from. Oh, from CSAS Earth, Columbia.edu. So something academic. Every time there's a lag, every time the CO2, and these are natural cycles, the temperature fluctuates with it. So we're about to shoot off like stonks. We're about to launch. This is the launching pad. I need a drink. Hope you're playing some headbanging music in the background or something, or like some techno. This is the most recent ice age. We've only been around for this little segment of time. And then we're about to launch off. I mean, look at it. We're 1.3. In a geological time span, what we're experiencing right now so rapidly is unprecedented. And so this gives you like a better million years before the present. This is the kind of situation we're heading into. We're heading back into, let's do the basic math. Oh, there's another picture I didn't save, but let's do the basic math. Like, we're at 1.3 plus, 0.5 and there's a solar cycle. And so from what I just read, the solar cycle's in its minimum, so that's going to go up and add effectively another half a degree, 0.5 Celsius, on top of the 1.3 we're at right now. And then the Arctic will melt, and then the Amazon will is putting more carbon in the permafrost, and we're easily going to be Pliocene here type temperatures. Easily 2030. Let me remind you, we are on worst case trajectory. This is an analyzation of atmospheric methane chart I picked up a while ago. By the way, Pliocene by 2030 is like full on. If you see what's happening in the world right now at 1.2, 1.3 according to the NOAA, then dude, 1.8 and 2 degrees is like, dude, there's gonna be a mega death. There's gonna be a war. It's gonna spawn a major war of many, perhaps. This is the atmospheric methane, and it just launched off one day in 2021 because all the permafrost is melting, and it's Siberia. What somebody said, the largest fire in the world is Siberia. That's bonkers. I just like to look at this drought graph. Look how exponential that is, from that to all like a cancer, all of that. If that trend continues and it doubles and doubles and doubles every even 2 years, that is full scale disaster. 2030. I got this from this presentation that I watched the other night. And this was back in 2011. Bill McKibben wrote this book that we only had 565. That was back then. But this should be updated. But he now says that we have 2,795 gigatons already contained in proven coal and oil and gas reserves. So we're already like planning to, pop out fucking a billion more babies with that are all going to end up dying. Most of them. The survivors, there's a few stragglers. I'm a straggler. But I'm also a doomer wizard. So at that rate, that 565 gigaton allowance, even this is back then, now and the IPCC said we had like 300 gigatons left. Something around those numbers. And they said the same thing in 7 years, 2028, 2030. And you have Mike Pompeo and this like Kentucky senator that are like praying for oil. They had a pastor at a convention at an oil company convention recently, and they're arguing like you can't build green energy, renewable, it doesn't work. And it's like, yeah, they may be true in a lot of instances, but like they're just praying for death. It's insane. Like a pastor blessing the oil, like it's unbelievable. We are straight up like the stupidest species. Let me hit stop record on this and try to get this other picture. I don't know why it didn't load. Okay, for some reason it wouldn't load in a viewer. It's like, oh, it's a web MP file. I'm not sure where the person, there's no credits on this image, but it checks out at least pretty more or less accurately with the temperature gauge I'm seeing down here. We have had in the past several years, the past 5 years have been the hottest on record, and they've all been within the 0.8 and 1 and 1.2. That's what you're seeing reported most often. And this is when I've started keeping in track of it, was about right here. So yeah, this is about pretty accurate. So if I'm following this correctly, it's, it's exponential. I'm just looking at the way, it's cool here, getting cooler, and then look how quickly the gradient, that's the word I'm looking for, the gradient transitions so quickly. Cheers. And if you follow that, how does it not get to more pink? It looks really bad right here. If I'm following what it's showing me, it looks really bad right here. Yeah. Just go look out over a mountain or an ocean and get that woo feeling. Get that feeling of the you and the universe and what you need to do. What you need to do left. Whatever it is. Go pet 100 dogs and cats. Okay, let me stop recording on that. You either live it like you're in a delusion, or you're behind a moat, or you just realize that all we have is each other. We're all stewards of the Anthropocene. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you later.